Hello, welcome on School of Advanced Chemistry. So this is Sumit Kumar Gupta, and we have already discussed in lecture first and second that we are going to study in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. And in lecture first I have discussed that what is my plan for NMR spectroscopy to discuss, and in lecture second I have discussed that what is the phenomena of nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy and what type of interaction is going to discuss here. Okay, so today I will start from chemistry of nucleus. Okay, so what is the physical concept to interact of a nucleus to incoming light, that is a radio wave. So I'm starting. So we have already discussed all these things. So this is we are going to discuss. Okay, as we have discussed that nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is the interaction of interaction of incoming light with nuclei. So we will have to understand what is the nuclei and how it will interact to incoming radio waves. Okay, so first thing which we should always remember that the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation which is used in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is a radio wave. Radio wave will interact in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy with nuclei. Okay, so if we talk about nature of nucleus, if we are talking about nucleus, so basically everyone knows that nucleus is a positively charged part of atom which has proton and neutrons. There are many other particles like mesons and other particles which are not our interest in nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, which is another part of physics, which is nuclear physics. So we are not talking about other particles. So basically if we talk about protons in point of view NMR spectroscopy, basically we are saying that nucleus is made of proton and neutrons. If we talk about protons are positively charged and neutrons are neutral. Both proton and neutrons are fermions. When we will discuss statistical thermodynamics, we will discuss what is the fermions and what is the fermions statics. Okay, so first property, fermions has a spin state of half. So if we talk about proton and if we talk about neutrons, proton or neutrons both are fermions and have a spin state of half. Is it clear? Okay, so if we are talking about spin state for particular proton or neutrons, it is half plus half, maybe it has a value of plus half or minus half. Okay, if we talk about the spin quantum number for nuclei, it will be a summation of spin state of total number of protons and spin state of total number of neutrons. So every proton or any proton may have a value of plus half or minus half, and neutrons same thing for neutrons, it may have a value of plus half or minus half. So if we talk about total spin quantum number, so it will be a summation of II. What is the mean of II? It's mean we are talking about a particular for every proton and for every neutron. Okay, So this is the total this is about a total spin quantum number, that is I, total spin quantum number for any nuclei. I is the summation of I is the spin state for a particular proton or neutron. Mean it is a total summation, total spin state, total summation of spin state of every proton or neutrons in a nuclei. Is it clear? So this is a total spin quantum number. Total spin quantum number. Okay, so what is the value of I? What is the value of I a nuclei can have depends on summation of this II. For example, there is a nuclei in which a fixed number of protons or neutrons. So it may have plus half, minus half, plus half, plus half, minus half, plus half, plus half, plus half, may any value. So total spin quantum number for a nuclei. What will be the total spin quantum number value? Plus half, minus half, 0, plus half, minus half, 0, and this is 3/2. So this is the total spin quantum number for a nuclei which have a number. This is the number of proton or neutron. Every space of every plus half or minus half is representing the spin state of any proton or neutron. Is it clear? So if we talk about the total spin quantum number, the value of total spin quantum number, it may have half integral, or it may have 0 if there are one proton and there are one neutron. If it has a value of plus half or minus half, plus half, minus half, total spin quantum number is 0. So what I mean to say that if we are talking about the total spin quantum number, total spin quantum number, I am talking about the value of first. It may have a value of 0. Total spin quantum number, it may have a value of 0. Second combination or second possibility of a combination of such type of spin state of proton or neutrons, it may have half integral. And third point, it may have integral value. There are three possibilities to be a nucleus having three value. First is maybe 0 and half integral and full integral, mean integral. Half integral mean it may have value of n times half, where n may have value of 1, 3, 5, 7 and so on. If we are talking about 0, it's simply 0. Integral value, it may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on value. So nature of nucleus is a positively charged space of an atom which has protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged and neutrons are neutral. So overall, if we talk about the charge on nucleus, overall charge is a positive. Overall charge on nucleus is a positive charge. Spin state, if we talk about spin state of nucleons, they are fermions which have a spin state of half, because proton or neutrons both are fermions, have a spin state half. So total spin quantum number for a nucleus may have a value of 0, half integral and integral value. Okay, so what is a theoretical approach? what is a theoretical approach to determine the total spin quantum number for a given nuclei? So we determine the total spin quantum number for a nuclei on the basis of atomic number. What is the nature of atomic number and what is the nature of atomic mass? It has a value of value even or odd. Okay, so this is atomic mass. Atomic mass may be even or odd, and this is atomic number. It may have a value of even or odd. For a atom, if atomic mass is even, for a atom, if atomic mass is even or atomic number is even, both atomic number or atomic mass is even, it's mean it will have zero spin quantum number. It will have total spin quantum number 0. For example, if we talk about 6C12, 6 is the number of atomic number. Atomic number is 6, which is even, and atomic mass is 12, which is also even. So even, it will have a 0 total spin quantum number. This is a NMR active. Why this is NMR active, we will discuss in a little later. Okay, so this is second combination. If atomic mass is even, and atomic number is odd, it will have an integral value. For 1s2, 1 is the atomic number, atomic number is odd. 1s2, 1 is the atomic number, 2 is the atomic mass, which is even, and 1s2 will have an integral value. It's mean it has a value of 1. 7 and 14, 7 nitrogen 14, it has a value of 1. Third combination, if atomic mass is odd and atomic number is even, it will have a value of half integral. It may have a value, half, 3/2, 5/2, or and so on. So example, 6C13, atomic number is even and atomic mass is odd. 6C13, it has a value of half. This is a 13C NMR spectroscopy. We will discuss 13C NMR spectroscopy in detail. Okay, fourth combination, if atomic mass is odd and atomic number is also odd, so the value of total spin quantum number will have a value of half integral, maybe half, 3/2, 5/2, 7/2. So proton, this is a 1h1. 1 is atomic mass and atomic number, both are 1 and both are odd, so it will have a value of half. 7 nitrogen 15, it have a value of half. So this is the theoretical approach to determine the total spin quantum number for a nucleus. Okay, so next thing, which is angular momentum of nucleus. Okay, so first thing, angular momentum of nucleus is represented by I. Okay, so angular momentum of nucleus will be under root I plus 1 h 2i. This is the angular momentum of nucleus is under root I plus 1 h upon 2 pi. Okay, this is the angular momentum of a nuclei which has a total spin quantum number value is I. It may have value of 0, half integral and full integral, doesn't matter. first. Okay. Second thing, angular momentum of nucleus. If we are talking about angular momentum is a vector quantity. Mean it has both quantitative and direction. It has quantitative value and it has also a direction. So angular momentum will have a direction. Okay, so it total spin quantum number value is I, and it will have a direction. What? Quantum mechanics. What? Quantum mechanics has a restriction. What is the restriction of quantum mechanics for angular momentum? According to quantum mechanics, angular momentum can't have any arbitrary direction. Quantum mechanics says that angular momentum will have a specific direction with respect to any particular direction. Normally we are taking that specific direction is z. So angular momentum will have a specific direction with respect to z axis. It can't have any arbitrary direction. Okay, this is a z direction, this is z direction, plus z and minus z. If angular momentum, okay, I am not specifying this time a value of angular momentum, I'm just representing angular momentum. So what is the restriction of quantum mechanics? That it can't have any arbitrary direction. If we talk about classical mechanics, in classical mechanics it may have any direction, but the restriction of quantum mechanics that it can't have any specific direction. There will be a space quantization in angular momentum. Quantum mechanics has a restriction that it can't have any arbitrary direction. It will have a specific direction with respect to z axis. Okay, so if we are talking if we are talking about the spin state of nuclei, if total spin quantum number has a value of I, it will have this is a spin quantum number, total spin state will have a 2I plus 1 value. There will be total spin state, there will be 2I plus 1 state. And what will be the value for that is spin state? It will have a value of plus I to minus I. Okay, let me explain. I am taking an example. Just a simple proton. Proton has a spin quantum number half. So total possible spin state will 2I plus 1 will be total spin state. Mean 2 half plus 1 it will have 2 spin state. So it may have only 2 spin state. And what are the value of total spin state? It will have plus half to minus half. It will have plus half to minus half, and these both plus half or minus half are the possible spin state for a nuclei which have a value of total spin quantum number half. So mi will be plus half or minus half. So angular momentum. So angular momentum with respect to z axis, so total angular so angular momentum of a nuclei with respect to z axis will have a two value. What is the? This is plus z, this is minus z, this is a 0. So with respect to z axis, what is the value of angular momentum? Angular momentum with respect to z axis, is mi h by 2 pi. Mi is plus half, so it's mean half h by 2 pi. If mi is minus half, it will have minus h upon 2 pi. So if we are taking this is the integral of h upon 2 pi. So if this is plus half, it have a value of plus half, and it has a value of minus half. So this is the angular momentum. This is the angular momentum of nuclei with respect to z axis. What is the angular momentum of this nuclei? This nuclei, the angular momentum of this nuclei in any specific direction, this is half. What is the angular momentum of this nuclei? If nuclei has a half value, this will be half plus half 1. It will have 3 by 2, and this will be under root 3 by 2 h by 2 pi. So this is the angular momentum for a nuclei which have plus half total spin quantum number. Okay, so it's mean there is a restriction that it will have under root 3 by 2, and this is minus under root 3 by 2. So this is a space quantization. That with respect to z axis, it may have plus half or minus half angular momentum. There are two spin states, which first one which has total spin angular momentum with respect to z axis is plus half h by 2 pi, and with respect to z axis it has minus half time h by 2 pi, and any direction in angular momentum in any direction is under root 3 by 2 minus under root 3 by 2. There are two possible states for nuclei which have a half total spin quantum number. Is it clear? I hope all of you are able to understand what is the space quantization and what is the angular momentum of a nuclei which has a value of total spin quantum number half. So if a total spin quantum number value is half, so it means it will have a two value. It may have two. It will have two spin state, that is a plus half or minus half, and angular momentum with respect to z axis will be mi h upon 2 pi, and angular momentum in any direction except z axis, it will be under root 3 by 2 or minus 3 by 2. Is it clear? So that was a angular momentum of nucleus. Okay. So coming to the magnetic moment of nucleus. Coming to the magnetic moment of nucleus. Okay, so if we are talking about nucleus, we are talking about a positively charged space in an atom. First hypothetical point, we are treating that nucleus is spherical. That nucleus is spherical of radius r. Spherical of radius r. Okay, so what will be the cross section area? So cross section area will be pi r square. Okay, and what will be the value of circumference? It will have 2 pi r. It will have value of 2 pi r. Okay, so first thing that we are treating this nuclei as a spherical of radius r. Okay, so coming to the point, nucleus is a positively charged. It is a positively charged spinning. Positively charged spinning. It is spinning along its axis and it has a positive charge. Okay, so we can treat this nucleus as a charge momentum around the axis. Okay, so charge revolving around a particular axis will behave like a magnet. So this nuclei will behave like a tiny magnet. Okay, so it will behave like a tiny magnet. If nuclei is behaving like a magnet, it mean that it will have a magnetic moment. So magnetic moment of a nuclei mu m. It will have a value of I. It is a I. What is the value? What is the I? I is electricity. If we are treating this nuclei as a wire in which a charge is revolving. And what is the A? A is the cross sectional area of this nuclei. This is a pi r square. So what is the I? So I. What is the I? I is the electricity. And what is the? It is number of revolution per unit time. Is it clear? I is electricity. It is a number of revolution per unit time into charge. What is the charge is revolving around a axis in spherical nuclei. Is it clear? So if we are talking about a nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, so basically we are talking about proton. So I am just for simplicity I am putting here a charge of plus E. Actually a proton has a plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 plus E charge. Okay, so this is, so mu m magnetic moment mu m is equal to I, number of revolution per unit time. V is the velocity of proton. V is the velocity of spinning proton. Okay, and circumference is 2 pi r. So number of revolution will be 2v upon 2 pi r. And what is the charge? Charge is E. This is I. And what is the area? Area is pi r square. So magnetic moment mu m is equal to r and r, pi and pi. It is v e r, and here it has value of 2. Okay, so mu m multiplying with m up and down, so mvr, we can write this mvr and 2m time e. mvr is the angular momentum. So we can say magnetic moment is the angular e by. So this is the angular momentum. Mu m is equal to L time E by 2m. So there is a relation between magnetic moment and angular momentum. That relation, what is the relation between magnetic moment and angular momentum? It has a relation mu m is equal to E by 2m times L. First thing. Second, mu magnetic moment is a vector quantity. Angular momentum has a vector quantity. So what is this formula is representing? It is representing that the direction of magnetic moment and direction of angular momentum is in same direction. Both have same direction. Is it clear? So this is a mu m is equal to L upon L into E by 2m. This is the magnetic moment. Is it clear or not? Okay, so first thing, from starting I have told you that the nuclei is a spherical of radius r. But in actual there the nuclei is not spherical. So there will be some deviation. For this formula, because in this formula we are treating a nuclei spherical, but in actual or in real it is not spherical. So there is some deviation from this formula and reality. So we are introducing a constant. G L E 2m. G L E by 2m. What is the mean of this? Why we are introducing this constant G factor? Because when we are driving this relation between magnetic moment and angular momentum, we have a postulate that nucleus is spherical, but in reality nucleus is not a spherical. It has some deviation, so it will have some deviation from reality. So this on applying this relation on actual system, on reality, we will have to introduce something. So we are introducing a constant G. Mu m is equal to G L times E upon 2m. G is a G factor. Is it clear? So this is okay. So mu m So mu m is equal to G L E to m. This is a relation. This is a relation. Now we know that the angular momentum of a nuclei is I plus 1 h upon 2 pi. Is it clear? This is the angular momentum for a nuclei. So mu m will G E y 2m under root I plus 1. What is the h upon 2 pi? Okay, so mu m is equal to G E h 4 pi m under root I plus 1. So mu m introducing a constant mu n under root I plus 1. Introducing a constant where mu n is equal to E h upon 4 pi m, and mu n is Bohr magneton. Putting the value of E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and value of H is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 34, and for pi is equal to 3.14, and mass of proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 27. So we will have a value of mu n. What will be the value of mu n? It will have a value of 5.047 into 10 to the power minus 27 joule per Tesla. Okay, so this will be the magnetic moment. Mu m is equal to G mu n under root I plus 1. So one question may be asked to you, that what is the mu n? If someone asks you a question from physical chemistry, someone can ask a question from this formula, and what is the mu n? Someone can ask a value of 4 pi m mu n. Okay, so mu m, what is the relation between mu m and mu n? If there is a value of G, so what is the relation between magnetic moment and Bohr magneton? So Bohr magneton has a fixed constant value. So what will be the value of magnetic moment for a nuclei? So if a value of I is given, the value of G is given, and mu n has a value of a constant value, this is a 5.047 into 10 to the power minus 27 joule per Tesla. So it will have some value of magnetic moment. Okay, so this was all about the magnetic moment of a nucleus. So basically we should understand the properties of nuclei. So what we have learned till now, that if we are talking about nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, so we are studying about the interaction of electromagnetic radiation, which is a specific part of electromagnetic radiation, that is a radio frequency, radio wave. So we are studying radio wave, interaction of radio wave with nuclei. If we are talking about nuclei will have a proton or neutrons, and proton or neutrons both are fermions. It means both proton or neutrons will have a spin state plus half or minus half. It has a spin quantum number half, so it may have plus half or minus half. So the total spin quantum number, total spin quantum number of a nuclei may have a value of 0, integral or half integral, because summation of every nucleons. So total spin quantum number is a summation of spin state of every nuclei, every nucleons. So this it may have value of 0 plus 0 or half integral, or it may have a full integral, integral value. So nuclei is a spinning particle, spinning part of atom is a spinning particle. So it will have an angular momentum, and angular momentum will be under root I plus 1 times h upon 2 pi. So according to quantum mechanics, there will be a restriction. So it will have a certain fixed space quantization value. It will have some fixed value along z axis. It will have a fixed specific direction along z axis. So I have already told you that what is the space quantization and what will have what will be the direction of angular momentum of a nuclei. I have already taken an example of nuclei which have a spin quantum number I. Okay, so that was all about the angular momentum. I have told you that what will be the total spin state and what will be the angular momentum with respect to z axis. And if we are treating nuclei is a positively charged and spinning particle, so it will behave like a tiny magnet. So it will behave like tiny magnet. So it will have a magnetic moment. So what will be the value of magnetic moment? So we have derived that mu m. What is the relationship between magnetic moment and what is the relationship between magnetic moment and angular momentum? So we have derived that mu m is equal to g mu n under root I plus 1. So what is the mu n? Mu n is a Bohr magneton. It has a fixed value, is a constant. It has a value of 5.047 into 10 to the power minus 27 joule per Tesla. Okay, so what is the nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy? It is an interaction of electromagnetic radiation. It has electric field or magnetic field. So there will be a coupling between there will be a transition of a nuclei from ground state to excited state in presence of external magnetic field. How we will get a NMR spectra? We will put our sample in external magnetic field. So external magnetic field will couple with this mu m, magnetic moment of a nuclei. So we will have to understand that how nuclei will behave like a tiny magnet. So I have already derived a relationship between mu m or angular momentum and what is the mu m of a nuclei which have a particular I value. So this is a mu m is equal to g mu n under root I plus 1. So okay, so in next class, most probably it will be tomorrow. So I will discuss that how external magnetic field will interact with this magnetic field of nuclei, and how it will change the population in spin state of a nuclei, plus half spin state or minus half spin state if we are talking about proton. Okay, and after that how electromagnetic radiation, how radio wave will interact these nuclei and give a transitions. This was a complete physical concept for nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So tomorrow we will discuss the potential energy, how potential energy will change of a nuclei in external magnetic field, how it will couple, and how degeneracy of spin state will break. Okay, so thank you.